think it's Piccolo.
Yeah, Piccolo. It's just Piccolo. It's not I am Piccolo, but his hat is I am Piccolo. That beat to drop.
Alright, Justin, you better have my mic right. You better have my mic right, because I'm coming in hot, baby. I might be a little rusty, but I'm ready to go, baby. What's up, Philadelphia? We are live, broadcasting from the beautiful New Media Studios right outside of Philadelphia. Welcome to the first episode of 4th and John for the 2017 NFL season, baby! Yeah. We are back! Do you feel it? Do you feel the hairs rising up on the back of your neck? Do you feel those goosebumps, boys and girls? Do you feel the excitement? Do you feel the energy? Do you feel the electricity? You know why? Because Eagles football is back, baby! And no better way to start off the season than getting that monkey off of our back against the team down in D.C. who, for whatever reason, we can't seem to beat year in, year out, despite being good, despite being bad, and I'm talking about the Washington Redskins. It is about time we do exactly what Lane Johnson said and go down that turnpike and go kick some Redskin ass, whoop on some Redskin ass, and come out of there with a W. Week 1, there should be no such thing as a must-win game. But let me tell you something, boys and girls. This right here is a statement game. Because we set the tone right here, right now, for the rest of the season and send a message to the rest of the NFC East that this division is not safe. Because the Birds are retooled, reloaded with new weapons, and they're ready to fucking roll. Speaking of being ready to fucking roll, I'm going to toss it off to my man to my left here. You know him as Eagle Sessions on Twitter. He's the green mean machine of meme, Mr. Gail Saunders. How are you today?
Yo, I am living the dream right now. Nipples are really erect from that theme song. Piccolo was fire on that.
Huge shout out, Piccolo.
The season is here. The season is upon us. We're here for the development of Wentz. We had a superb off season. We had a little rocky preseason. The hysteria is here, but that is Philadelphia football.
A little overreaction, but that's to be expected from this fan base.
You know, but I'm ready for it, man. This is amazing.
But the preseason is, of course, the preseason. That's done and over with. Training camp is done. The draft is done. Mini camp's done. It's all done. Now it matters. My man Philly Mike working the social media for us today. Philly Mike, say hello to the people for the first time in a long time.
I gotta let this go. Woo! It is great to be back with you fellas. Eagles football is back. I am so happy, so thrilled that Eagles football is back because the Phillies are trash. Hockey's out for a while. Yeah, we all know what's going on with that. Sixers trust the process, BS. But man, Eagles football is back, and I am not more excited for a season start. I can't wait. 5 days.
Love the energy, Mike. Love the energy. And bringing in next, my boy who used to be working the camera,
That's right.
but now he's behind the mic.
Upgrading all around.
Okay, Mr. Evan Bubblegum here. How are you, buddy?
What's going on, E? How you doing, man?
I'm pretty good.
I gotta tell you, man, I am ecstatic about this season right now. Last year we were going into it, and we were going in with a rookie QB and a rookie head coach. This year, they got the legs underneath of them. They've got some playing experience, and Carson's got plenty of new toys to play with. So I really think the offense takes off this year, and to be quite honest, the defense looked pretty stout in the preseason.
Oh, the defense is going to eat. And I said it earlier on Twitter that, look, going into last season, during the birth of 4th and John, during the genesis of this whole thing, week 1 we were talking about, listen, the Doug Peterson, new head coach.
It's questionable.
Last time he had a head coaching gig, it was in high school, and Carson Wentz, and a new defensive scheme, and so on and so forth. It's got a different feel.
Yeah.
It's got a different feel
We know what
this
to
year.
expect now.
That's the beautiful thing. You don't know what to expect.
It's true.
Last year, you knew what to expect because you knew it was a rebuilding year.
It's true.
But this year, this front office did everything they could to put the tools around Carson Wentz to make him successful. They got those wide receivers, Torrey Smith, Alshon Jeffrey. They fortified, although they let some of them go. The offensive line, running backs. Well, they did the best they could.
They
I
filled
guess.
some holes
They got
better
that
than others.
Running back by committee always sometimes equals running backs are kind of shitty
Yeah.
That's true.
as a group.
But speaking of expectations, we're going to get into that later in the show because we're actually going to write down our expectations, what we think the season record is going to be, seal it in the envelope. Justin's going to put it in the closet so we can go revisit that. Not only do I want you to write down the predictions, okay? Like give me a record prediction. I want you guys to write down like 3 bold predictions. 3 predictions, and then what we're going to do is we're not even going to say this on air. But the last show, we're going to open these envelopes back up, see how right we were, and then we're going to read over the predictions. Because chances are, we're all going to look like assholes. which is the point of this show, right? So we all look stupid. Joining us, too, all the way from D.C., we had to bring him in. We had to bring him in, especially since we're going down there and playing the Redskins. You know him from as a frequent 4th and John caller. My man, D.C. Darrell, is in the house today.
Hello, fellas.
How are you, sir?
I just like to say thank you, baby Jesus, in heaven, for football season being back. I've been looking forward to it.
Amen.
It's nothing else to do. There's nothing to watch on TV unless you want to watch, like, Basketball Wives or something. But football's back. Football's back. Football's back.
I love it.
Hey, did you bring some crab cakes with you, though?
No, man. Next weekend, you
Okay.
guys come down.
Oh, when we go down, we're getting some of
That's
those
the rumor.
Jimmy seafood.
That is the rumor.
Absolutely.
Sorry,
And
Mike.
we usually go to you for like the DC scouting report, kind of gauge the temperature of the Redskins fan base, which is going to be curious this year. Because the feedback that I'm getting from a lot of Redskins fans is they're positive, and I'm not exactly sure why, but we're going to get into that later, talking about the, because you're down there, you get all the media, CSN Washington, that whole thing. So I want to know what the fans in Washington are expecting. Are they looking past this Philadelphia Eagles team?
I think they are.
Yeah, I think they are too. Saber, we're going to get into that later. But first thing I wanted to do, since it's our first time on the air in a long time, guys, we can't afford to keep this quality content here down in New Media Studio. We got to make it for special occasions, you know what I mean, during the season. So first thing I wanted to talk about was really the 53 man. Now there were some surprises, like a lot of questions. Gail, kind of go over some of the surprises of the 53. We're not going to go on this long, but I did want to touch on it because it is important.
Well, I mean, some people know about Donald Humphrey, a guy that they expected a lot out of. Was banged up earlier in preseason. I don't think he ever shook that during preseason. A 4th round draft pick would be hard to release, especially you know, as a GM, you don't lose face losing a 4th round pick. And then also Shelton Gibson. A lot of people weren't really sold on that, you know, that vertical threat being a reason to keep him around when you had a guy like Bryce Treggs who had showed that he's a capable receiver, but you know, they like his skill set, and that's to go deep. So if you're looking at a guy who could maybe replace Torrey Smith down the road as a vertical threat, maybe he's that guy, but he's not definitely polished. But I think you know, a lot of people were up in arms. I mean, Corey Clement actually made the roster. Big kudos to him for making the roster as an undrafted free agent. That's a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. We were all rooting for him.
I know you were.
Oh yeah, I was making the memes, you know, turning around, looking at Corey Clement. Dude, that dude did everything he could to earn a roster spot as an undrafted rookie free agent.
And he was an Eagles fan growing up. This was his lifelong dream to be an Eagle player.
Did you see the tweet from 2012?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
You did not? Oh, that was awesome.
It was fantastic. He put out a tweet. He was in front of like an Eagles, like something you take a picture in front of. It had like the Eagles symbol behind him. He was inside the NovaCare complex, and it said "one day." And it was in 2012. He posted that.
That's pretty dope, man.
It is pretty dope.
You know what I mean? So I mean,
Talking about living your dream.
living the dream, not as a dream team.
Mike, what are your feelings on the 53?
Well, pretty much, Gail just pretty much stole my thunder. But one thing I am happy though, Matt McChicken McGloin is gone. I'm so happy he's gone. That dude was straight up trash. I couldn't stand watching it. I didn't even watch the 4th preseason game. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't even bother watching it. It was just watching him play was terrible.
I felt like watching him was
Hurt my eyes.
detrimental to the other receivers that were on the roster who were trying to make splash plays. I'm like, he's not throwing anything worthy of a splash play. So I thought McGloin was definitely.
The thing that has me most concerned about this 53-man roster is I really kind of expected a little bit more waiver wire moves, and it could have happened today. You know, I don't know. I haven't been checking Twitter. I've been busy doing YouTube videos and stuff like that. And CSN. Speaking of which, the crew showed up to the CSN Authentic Fan kind of commercial shoot.
Yeah. Authentically awesome.
Yeah.
It was. And I think you're going to see a lot of the 4th and John squad, whether it's on the 700 level show with Mark Forzetta, with myself, we're on commercials. You're going to see a lot of 4th and John popping up on CSN in the near future, including what could possibly be, you know, a tailgate special where week 1 tailgate, which we're planning on, all right, the big one, the home opener against the Giants. There's rumors going around inside CSN that they could be doing a feature on the 4th and John tailgate. So I know a lot of you guys are planning on coming. I know a lot of you guys are flying in. Britt's flying in from Florida. Puga's flying in from Texas. We got our folks Gonzo and Tara, right? Flying in from Washington, right?
Yep.
From the West Coast. So it's going to be a big deal. Be there because now you're going to have your chance to be on. See it. Rumor has it. I don't want to like spoil it, but rumor has it you're going to be on CSN.
Do you think we can get not your average hood rat to unretire the dinosaur?
Well, you know what? I have the outfit.
But I mean, if we're gonna keep it real, we need the original.
I know. I just got to talk. I just got to talk her in. I got to talk her into it. I don't know how she feels about it.
Okay.
But I think if I, sweet talk her
More
back.
baptisms?
I actually purchased a new beer bong.
Okay.
A brandy new beer bong. Because the old
The one Melissa broke?
No, yeah, really, we should figure out how to turn it, number one. Number two.
Sanitized.
In the off season of sitting in the trailer, I pulled that thing out and it was basically walking on its own. The beer bong, like trying to escape the tailgate trailer.
So
I had to corral it back
have
in.
beer and get ringworm.
No, I promise you it's going to be a brand new, out of the box, sanitized beer bong for the baptisms at the tailgate. But I want to flip it to my man DC Darrell because we did touch on it earlier. We're going down to the Redskins. This is a team that, for whatever reason, like a crazy ex-girlfriend, still has our number. All right, we just can't figure it out. No matter how good or how bad they are, for some reason, they just they just beat us every single time. Now they've had. What's nice about the Eagles is they've quietly had the best offseason in the NFL. I've been saying that over and over again. I'm repeating myself. Between getting the best free agent in Alshon Jeffrey to making that trade, getting rid of Jordan Matthews, bringing on a guy like Darby, shoring up that secondary, in the draft, in my opinion, getting one of the best defensive pass rushers, although I wasn't a fan of the pick when it happened. It's clear now during preseason that guy's got a lot of potential. They've had the best NFL offseason. Meanwhile, the rest of the NFC East has been going through, tumultuous times. A little bit of adversity. The Cowboys being at the top of the list. But don't forget about the Washington Redskins. I mean, they lost Pierre Garçon. They lost Deshaun Jackson. All right, one of their linebackers went down. He's already, I think, on injured reserve. They got one of their safeties who wore the roster spot saying, fuck this, I'm going to retire. I don't even want to play for you guys.
USC guy.
You got Kirk Cousins, who, has 1 year left, and Lord knows he's gonna sign somewhere else when he's done with it. He can't wait to get out of Washington. He can't wait to go over to San Francisco and be reunited over there. So in a contract year, is this guy going to be playing like lights out because he's trying to earn a check, or is he going to be mailing it in? I'm not entirely sure. But DC Darrell, I want to go to you. Give me the temperature of the fan base down in DC. Like, what are they thinking? Are they like us last year where we knew what to expect, or are they kind of pounding their chest right now?
They're game to game for the most part because probably about 75% of those guys do like Kirk Cousins, and then that other 25, they don't. They just don't have the faith in him at all. Since, 1991, Mark Rippon, shall I say, they haven't had a real quarterback, even with that. So I guess they're banking on Kirk Cousins for the most part. Kirk Cousins to Jordan Reed, that's pretty much what it is. So even with that being said, they just go game by game. Whatever the Redskins do week 1, they go from there. If they do it week 2, they go from there. They're so sad.
Well, they do have God on their side because God told Kirk Cousins to sign that 1 year contract, so God is with them.
Well, Kirk Cousins is stupid. Just plain stupid.
But he was kind of in a bad spot where he was kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place.
They kind of did him dirty.
They did. Think about it too, though. Do they want to actually invest that much money into him when you can't get past the first round of the playoffs, if that? You know what I mean? Like last year, you had Pierre Garçon, which was their obvious possession receiver. Deshaun Jackson could stretch the field, but then Josh Doxson, their first round pick last year, was hurt, so they didn't have too much in them as far as. Other receivers, I think it was Jamison Crowder.
Yep.
He pretty much was their best receiver in my opinion. And then when Jordan Reed could stay healthy, they were going to him every time. But their whole offense depends on the run game when it happens or the tight ends. So.
And they also did their general manager kind of dirty too. I mean, here's a guy who's had the most success in the past 10, 15 years with the organization. And then now Dan Snyder's writing contracts and stuff like that. It's amazing. Like, they drafted RG3 and Kirk Cousins in the same draft to be like, the quarterbacks of the future. They were kind of bankrolling both of it, to be either A or B. One of them's going to stick. And then come to find out, RG3, through injuries, Mike Shanahan killed that poor young man.
Yep.
Ruined his career. And then Kirk Cousins, they're going to end up losing because of a contract quarrel when really they're almost like they're tripping on their own dicks. They can't get out of their own way. It's really amazing. And I think this year the Redskins fans are finally going to realize the dumpster fire that they are facing right now because they got to start all over. They got to start once Kirk, they don't got anything in the pipeline.
I will say this. The general manager, I would have gave him a fifth of Hennessy or something. I know he had an alcoholic problem, but he's good. He was very good before they let him go. So, like I said earlier, the Redskins since 1991, since that Super Bowl year, have been looking for a quarterback. When they got RG3, they messed up when they gave the keys to the city before he even played it down on that field.
Right.
And then you draft Kirk Cousins. I think that was Shanahan doing a bunch of fugazi bullshit. But for the most part, you don't know what you have in Cousins. He's, to be honest with you, he's basic like Alex Smith. That's why I think he's close to.
Didn't the old GM from the Redskins, he just did an interview with Adam Schefter.
Mm-hmm.
Now we know he's not drinking because he said if he was going to start a new franchise, he would start a franchise with Carson Wentz.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Out
Hey,
of
listen,
all the players, that's the guy he picked.
some
I mean,
guys,
who wouldn't?
some guys do their job better when they're drunk. I mean, just ask Justin behind the glass. I mean, he does his job better when he's drunk back there. All right, listen. I didn't even give out the phone number yet. Number's 215-515-2924. But before we can even give that number out, the phone board's already clocked. It's already clocked. So I know normally we wait until 8:30 to jump into the phone calls, but shit, we've got to get on this because it's clocked. So the first person we're gonna bring up is our old buddy Joe from last year. Joe, you were on with 4th and John. How are you doing today, sir? It is circling, waiting for the program to load you. Joe. All right.
Smooth transition.
That's right. That's in the business is what you call. Hey!
What's up, Joe?
Joe, welcome back to Eagles football season, my man. What is on your mind? You're on 4th and John. No, I believe it needs to happen. I mean, not only do they need to win and just get the monkey off of their back, but a decisive win would certainly set the tone for the rest of the season, right? Oh my God.
And deserted Wentz that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But you had what was it, Big V starting? Big V just getting, as a rookie, just getting tossed around back there. So it was, it wasn't even like a fair fight in that aspect. Well, give me a prediction on the game, bud. Not close. 27-10 Birds. I like it. That must mean that Eagles defense is crushing Kirk Cousins. They're getting after the quarterback. And that's something that we saw in the preseason. I mean, this defensive line is going to eat. Right?
Absolutely.
You think they would? I mean, now you got Derek Barnett on the side. He's going to get a run for Vinny Curry's money. I mean, you got Brandon Graham, Jerrigan and Cox, Long Cox, those guys together. I mean, you got the defensive line, the front seven in general should be like one of the top in the league this year, in my opinion. They should. I don't know how you guys feel.
I think the Redskins center Spencer Long, he tore a meniscus or something like that, so he's back in the back. Yeah. So you imagine a hurt center going up against Fletcher Cox or even Timmy Jernigan.
Yeah, I like Timmy Jernigan's used to two gapping. Now he's one gapping, just going straight for the quarterback. He's gonna eat. He's gonna have a great time doing it, especially with Fletcher Cox getting those double teams. But if they're gonna double somebody.
And I know that
that
Benny Logan was a favorite of yours, but I almost feel like Timmy Jernigan, just watching him in the preseason. I mean, that guy is a dog.
Replace the groin for the grill.
The grill.
The grill. Yeah, he does got grilled. They're looking like big old T-Pain. You see him during pregame, like during the preseason with
he
the
looks
belly
like he should
hanging
have
out?
a ice cream tattoo right on the side of his face.
I mean, but dude looks like a football player. You look at the guy like that's a football player. That's what he looks like.
He's bold.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, I got a quick question though. If he's on a 1-year contract, if he falls out, does good, you paying him?
Yeah.
You paying him?
Yeah.
Even though we gotta pay Alshon Jeffrey, we have to pay him.
Listen, this is week 1, man.
I know it is, but I'm
talk
just
about the
saying.
offseason already. Jesus
You
Christ.
pay Jernigan if he balls out. That's why he's here. You don't bring a guy in off a 1-year deal and a rookie year deal. They're you can get you might be able to find a gem.
You know what I just realized? I'm getting old. I need glasses. I can barely read the names on this board right here. Chalks from Willow Grove is on next with 4th and John. What's up, baby? Welcome back to Eagles football. How you feeling, bud?
I love it.
Hey, listen. That's the way you start a fucking phone call, right there. I love it, man.
Yeah, 5, I thought.
4 games. Lost in a row.
Four
Lost in a
games.
row.
5.
5 games.
Damn, yeah. Man. So it has been a while, man. No doubt about it. I think we break the curse though this year.
And dude, I know you're on the line right now, but I want to give you some good news because DC Darrell just passed around the phone. And according to Chris Mortensen, Ezekiel Elliott's 6-game suspension has been upheld by Harold Henderson as per a source. So Zeke and the rest of your Cowboys. I love it. I figured we just got the news broken to us right now, so we wanted to pass along that good news to you, my friend. Thank you for calling in. Make sure you call in again. Hey, listen, man, give me an Eagles cheer before you go. Give me an Eagles cheer before you go, brother.
Iconic.
You too.
Love it, brother.
That might be a call of the show right there.
That's
When you start the call with "What's up, you John motherfuckers," I like it.
He
I
came in
like
hot.
it. Let's see if my dude Trevor in Columbus, Ohio, can repeat that kind of energy, can get that going. Trev, what's up, baby? Fuck yes.
Get the fuck out of here. Are you doing this solo or you got some road dogs with you?
Love the dedication.
We'll definitely link up with this though.
And definitely hit us up because I don't think we've talked about it yet. Classic Jeff, right? So everybody's got one of these in the crew, right? You got that one guy in the crew who's the name dropper, right? He knows a guy. He can get you into this club. I know a guy who can hook you up with this. Listen, I can do this for you. I know a guy that does that. And when you ask them, they never come through, right? They're complete bullshitters. Classic Jeff is the kind of guy that when he says, I got a guy, that dude's got a guy. And I don't know how he pulled this off, but me, Gail, and Classic Jeff are going to be down at FedEx Field week 1, first row.
Damn.
First row.
What?
What section we in? 27?
27.
We were in section 27 in the corner of the end zone. So, dude, when you were down there, make sure you hit us up on at 4th and John. Let us know where you're at, because what we're trying to do, we're bouncing from like tailgate to tailgate, because we don't have like a home base down there.
We're trying to build our own gang, so.
Lot A green. Lot A green.
We're gonna hold
just
you to
right.
that.
Yeah, we're gonna hold you to that because we might use that as home base. So any of the other Eagles fans traveling down to DC, like my man Daryl.
Yeah, I live around the corner, man.
Okay, all right. Listen,
sound like a fucking party.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Sounds like a
all right.
fucking party.
I feel it, but listen, you're talking to the tailgate masters over here. So you're setting the bar. We got the bar set high, man. You think you can bring that thunder? Bring the ruckus.
I love it.
Fucking ruckus.
Bring the ruckus. Hey, man, we'll see you down there. Thanks for calling in, man. We appreciate it. Next up, we've got our boy John from New Jersey. John, you are on
Jersey
with
John.
Jersey John.
Jersey
You
John
just
called
developed a
it.
nickname right now, man. Jersey John, what's happening, buddy? Nothing much, man. Football season is here. Week 1 is Sunday against the Redskins. Big NFC East divisional matchup against a team that we have not been able to beat in a long time. How do you feel this works out? Barbie doll Kirk Cousins. Did you see the new mustache he's got? Did you see it? He's rocking the Fu Manchu now.
He's got
Oh, man.
looking like Dirk Diggler or something.
Dude, give me a prediction on the game, brother. Yeah, dude, give me a prediction on the game. What do you think is going to happen when it all goes down at 1 o'clock?
$59.
Oh, I love it.
John
from Jersey.
John, if we see you at the tailgate, please bring whatever you are currently smoking. Because it sounds like some good ish. All right, my man. We appreciate you. There you go, my man. We'll see you there, buddy. Mike, a little quick on the trigger finger.
I couldn't help that one. Sorry about that, Johnny. I owe you a beer, Johnny. I owe you a beer at the home opener, buddy. I'm sorry.
He sounded maybe like he's too young to drink. Or maybe he's had enough to drink.
Or enough. I think is enough.
Yeah, there you go.
59-point spread. I think they cover.
I think so too. Now, somebody who I know is going to be at the home opener tailgate, our boy down in Texas. I wish, dude, we're working on this soundboard because I would have your little porno music coming up because I know the ladies' man is on the line. Puga, how you doing, buddy? Hey, listen, we appreciate your continued support, man. You've been a caller for a long time, and we appreciate everything.
4th and John would be nothing without Puga.
We certainly would have a lot less to talk about because last time at the the home opener tailgate?
It was, yeah.
Puga disappeared. If you don't know Puga, he disappeared at some point during the tailgate with one of the lovely ladies that was attending said tailgate. And came back with a shit-eating grin on his face. I believe.
That was
I believe that was. He scored before the Eagles did before the game. Is that true, Puga?
That is true, and I do remember, and I think it was a little bit lucky because I think we beat up on the Steelers that last time.
You know, we did. We definitely need to make sure that Puga smashes before every game that he attends. One of you girls out there listening are going to have to take one for the team and give my boy Puga some loving before the game because that's our good luck charm.
So you got some poontang for Puga.
Poontang for Puga. Hashtag poon for Puga.
Poon for Puga? We'll make the t-shirt?
Oh, no.
How about that?
Yeah, I hear you, man. Exciting time. Eagles football is finally here. It feels like it takes forever to get here. And trust me, we're going to snap our fingers. We're going to be looking at week 10. It's just going to blow right by us. But right now, I mean, how are you feeling about this Eagles team with all the additions that they made going into the season?
I'm feeling a lot more comfortable. You know, I feel more secure knowing that we upgraded, I think, on the defensive line. We traded for a cornerback. Yes, we did with Jordan Matthews, but, you know, I kind of felt that Jordan Matthews wasn't even going to be here after this year. So, I mean, you might as well get something for him, and Howie came through again and got us a pretty good cornerback, and he threw that right off the bat, you know, when he made those 2 big plays in the preseason. But so, and I feel really good knowing that we're going to go into the season with Carson Wentz instead of Sam Bradford. Compared to last 8 days before the season started. Last year I mean, all offseason I was like, Sam Bradford, you know, I'm not too convinced, but now that we got different pieces in there slinging the ball, and now that we have little weapons like Alshon Jeffrey and Corey Smith to help him out, you know, sky's the limit with this team, and I'm feeling really good, and I think we're going to go down to Washington, and I think we're going to slap around Kirk Cousins a little bit. So,
I love it, baby.
you know, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Give me a prediction on the season because earlier we were kind of gauging the temperature via our boy DC Darrow. We were kind of gauging the temperature of how the Washington Redskins fans are feeling. How do you see this shaping up? Because later on we're going to give our predictions on the record for the season. How do you see this Eagles season shaping up? Like, give me a record prediction.
You know, if they come out and play, I mean, if they come out to play state-free football all season long, but if they stay healthy and Doug Peterson kind of is we can go. I'm saying the ceiling for me is 11-5, but I'm feeling more like 10-6. And I think with all the drama that I think that dumbass Cowboys players are doing down here, I can even not even gonna amount to much, but his offensive line is gonna help him. And I feel really good knowing that the Eagles are probably the most complete team in the division.
Hey,
now.
talk about it.
Against the corner for guard, made that space for guard. I feel like they have a okay offense, if I'm really mistaken, in the preseason. But you have Lane Johnson back. We did really well with him in there when he was playing. And we have him back the whole season. We have JT on the other side, Carson with the Garrett one, and hopefully Clement, who can help with the pass rush too. So I feel really good, man. I think I'm feeling 10-6. I think we're gonna go 10-6.
I like it. Puga, we will see you at the week 3 tailgate. We're looking forward to it.
Break
And all-
protection.
And yes, and bring the Jimmy. Oh my God. you know what's going down when Puga enters the tailgate, ladies. Just beware. We appreciate it, bud. Have a good one. He talked about something interesting. He started touching on the rest of the division and really why these other teams could be on the down slope, on the downslide.
Yeah.
This division is ripe for the taking. If you think about it, the Cowboys minus Ezekiel Elliott, I don't care how, and you know what, Cowboys fans are so amazing. Because at first they talk about Ezekiel Elliott being like, it's got nothing to do with the offensive line, that's all Zeke, Zeke's going to eat, Zeke's a beast, and feed Zeke, feed Zeke, feed Zeke. And then Zeke gets suspended for 6 games, and all of a sudden it's like, well, anybody can run behind that offensive line.
Grandpa
Shit.
McFadden.
Yeah, old Grandpa McFadden.
Hey, they might even get O.J. Simpson.
Oh man.
Okay.
Running behind that line.
Juice.
Who knows?
Maybe
He's
Bruce.
certainly got the rap sheet for
Yeah,
it.
hey.
He's certainly
Maybe
got
he's
the
getting
rap
out
sheet.
soon, too.
He is. He is. And so you take a look at the Cowboys, and they're minus Zeke, all right? I think that this is maybe the year that Dak Prescott kind of turns back into that pumpkin. You know what I mean? He had a phenomenal first year. He's incredibly talented. But when you're behind that offensive line, Cowboys fans, and you throw into guys like Beasley and Dez and all them, those talented receivers, and when you got a guy who's going to protect you, because there's nothing better for a quarterback than a solid, effective run game. When you can turn 1st and 10 to like 2nd and 4, it's a monsters. It's huge.
And if you dial up the pass attempts, I mean, you look at his pass attempts compared to Wentz's last year. With they relied on the running game. So now he's got to put the S on his chest. And when you make more pass attempts, it's more chances for Dak to mess up. So
Just ask Carson Wentz last year.
Dak played well. He did play well, but now he's got to put the S on his chest.
Sure.
And let's see if he can step up and actually do it. Plus, that defense is absolutely trash. That defense is garbage. So they're going to have to put up points, and
Right.
that's going to lean so heavily on Dak. We'll see if he can actually get it done. Meanwhile, the New York Giants. Let's go with them next. New York Giants. I live up in the New York market now. I'm in Jersey, but what you guys would down here consider North Jersey now. So I get all the friggin' New York stations. I've been watching those Giants preseason games, man. That offensive line. You think we had problems in the preseason? You did not watch the Giants preseason because they are just letting people through like friggin' turnstiles right now.
I went to actually snuck into Giants preseason. They had my Sixers gear on. People didn't realize I was blended in with the red and blue, but they do have problems at offensive line. And Flowers could be a problem. And when you have Brandon Graham coming off the edge, as much as they talk about their weapons on the outside. By the way, they did look pretty phenomenal.
What's that?
Odell Beckham looked phenomenal in camp.
Oh yeah, I mean, but Odell Beckham should look like Odell Beckham should look good.
But he was doing some shit that
Those hamburger helper mints.
Yeah, you know it's unbelievable when even Eagles Twitter is starting to retweet all that stuff and be like, holy shit, what a catch! Like those one-handed grabs that he's doing. He's a phenomenal athlete.
Dude went up and caught a touchdown grab with one hand, right? And then the ball dropped. He walked by the ball, did a soccer kick, the football behind his back, over his head, into his hand, like he had been doing this.
Yeah, really did he twist his ankle and go in the tunnel and cry?
Yeah,
cry
and then he
himself
bent over
over
and waited for it.
Yeah, like a
that
bitch.
whole boy dances for 80% of the practice. I've never seen a dude ever do that.
Nor should you.
It's kind of weird.
It is. Well,
It's weird.
Odell is suspect at best. Suspect at best.
He would twirl his hair, and
And listen-
it was weird.
And listen, I don't care if you got Odell Beckham and Brandon Marshall. If you don't have an offensive line to protect an aging Eli Manning, which God only knows.
Eli's gonna Eli.
Eli's going to Eli. You know he's going to Eli, and you put pressure in his face. That's a beautiful thing about what the Eagles did on defense. Not only did they secure the defensive tackle position with the addition of Jernigan and also drafting Derek Barnett, but when you make a trade for Ronald Darby like that, you get somebody on the outside who is going to buy you that extra second. How many fucking times last year
Talk about that.
did we see the Eagles almost get there, but because the pass protect and then all of a sudden you start to see teams like the Packers and all that other stuff, they start releasing the ball early because they know these corners can't cover, and if they don't allow the defensive line time to get to the quarterback, the defensive game plan goes right out the fucking window.
I think Navin Darby was huge. It's huge. A guy that has the skill set that we've been looking for the last couple of years.
Boys got jets.
So let's go with this. Close the doors.
All right, up next on the phones, we're going to go with our girl AJ, and then we have one of our favorite callers coming up after that. You're going to want to stay tuned for that one. I think he's going to bring some energy. But AJ, our darling of the tailgate. Now we just got off the phone with Puga. Are you going to be attending the week 3 tailgate by any chance?
No, my dearest, I will be working in this week, but I do hope that somebody will be broadcasting you guys being celebrities as you guys are
Oh,
Not at all.
Oh.
Not at all.
I love AJ.
a lot of stuff you lie, and a lot of parents will be wrong, so that you can show up and cry. No one can do it better than you guys can, so I'm very proud of you guys for everything.
Well, thank you, AJ.
Love you,
And
AJ.
to
Love
be
you.
honest with you, before you get into your point, I have been listening to a lot of sports talk radio during the off season, as I often do. I hear you call into multiple shows, and darling, you always make fantastic points. You also do so on YouTube, and it's not getting enough attention. Plug your YouTube page real quick.
Oh, yeah. That's what turned into a link that doing, so now I got to listen to you because I figured everybody should pick up easy as fast as my lane. Some people can't read. So everybody Adrian Jones, and also I'll be reading on Instagram because I always have my links on there, especially because you guys, you're so well, and I try to help y'all out with all the
And I saw you bought that T-shirt. That is awesome. Now the season is upon us. We got that electricity flowing. Eagles football. It's a new season. How are you feeling about your 2017 Birds going into Sunday?
I feel like it's going to come down to the fourth quarter, and I feel like I like games like that because the rest can always test them. And so far, I haven't seen a game in a while since finally started getting together that they really played as hard and consistently. I think for the first time, I'm excited to see them play all four quarters going crazy, and I can't wait. Even though now I'm kind of bummed about Zeke, I can't wait to see my boy Jordan Hicks show up and get Cowboys
Oh, and absolutely. And an earlier caller brought it up, and I forgot kind of to touch on it, but he talked about the coaching of Doug Peterson, right? So the coaching of Doug Peterson, kind of went under fire last year. There was some questionable calls, some questionable play calls, especially late in games, whether it be throwing downfield, to Nelson Aguilar or sweeps to Sproles and stuff like that. Something tells me that now that he has these additions, these new offensive weapons, that his playbook's really going to kind of open up a little bit more. Don't you think they were a little hamstrung last year with the amount of talent that they had on the field?
Yeah, you feel like when they tried to do too many trick plays, it just got ridiculous and he didn't know what else to do, and I think he panicked. I think this year Doug feels like he actually has something in front of him for a blueprint to actually look like a real team. Yeah, okay, he may not be the squad with all coaches, but don't just assume because the team's going to be himself. He's been around some greatness with Andy Reid, and so something has had to go off this way. You can't tell me you done got Jim Schwartz and all those other guys on the team that you can't crank out a 9-7 season at least.
Oh, absolutely. They went 7-9 last year. You mean to tell me that these new additions that they made can't buy you 2 more wins?
And with Lane Johnson playing.
And with Lane Johnson playing, yeah.
You better get.
And on top of that, the fact that Cook caught like at least 3 of those wins last year was bull crap.
absolutely. I love it. First round, winning the division, right? They're going to shock a lot of people this year. AJ, I love you, baby. I love you. All right, we'll talk to you soon. If you guys are in the suites at Lincoln Financial Field, keep an eye out for my girl AJ. She will take good care of you. Sorry, Puga, you're out on that one. I can't help you out. But coming up next, it's a caller that you know you've been waiting all offseason to hear. On the line live is our buddy, the Zamster!
Where's Hunter?
I love it, Zomp. I know you're juiced up for the season. This is the kind of stuff you live for. You even went to the 4th preseason game and represented your colors in a meaningless 4th preseason game to show those New York Giants fans and all those New York Jets fans what's up. Baby, how you feeling now that it's upon us?
Just absolutely excited, just like everybody else, guys. I mean, season is coming on, and let me tell you something. I am so ready to try to be optimistic, but we all know the doctor likes to be pessimistic. Listen, I want to get right down to it. I want to talk about the season game. Now, listen, I think in all aspects, let's say 90%, how are we not better than the Redskins? Now, a part of me says,
Just go third person.
What's that? Now, Zomp, let's play devil's advocate here because, you know, we got the optimistic Zomp and then we got the pessimistic Zomp. If the Eagles put together another performance like they did last year, let's say for some fucking reason they go 7-9 one more time. Is at this point, like, is Dougie Peterson, is this like a make or break year for him in your opinion?
I think he's got to be after that. I mean, this first game is like, this is the identity game.
Mm-hmm.
What are we made of? And if we go out there and play a solid game, and Doug shows his true colors, and we have an identity after this game, that's what we need.
And that's something that the Eagles lacked last year. I mean, it was really like an identity crisis. Like, who are you? Are you
DGB?
Are you a defensive like ground and pound? Are you throw like what are the Philadelphia Eagles up? And I think this year they're going to finally answer that question.
I mean, I think they are. He wants to try to get ground and pound team, but then again, Doug Peterson still probably throws the ball 30 times. So we never know. You know what I mean? I think he wants to final on the ball, but I'm trying to get my head around how we running back. How if he's going to start with Garrett Barnes, and if he starts getting no yardage, if he gets Smallwood, no changes here and there, I mean, who knows? I mean, I actually would start with Wendell Smallwood. You know what I mean? I think he's a shiftier back, faster back, his goal, but when it comes down to short yards and goal line, I think you should just put in 29 in there. I think that's his job. That's his job on the offense, in my opinion.
Zom, great first phone call of the year. We appreciate you calling. Before you go, man, we need to feel that energy one more time because nobody brings it quite like you. Let me get an EAGLES out of the Zamster, baby.
Listen, I hope you can have a wonderful time and bring it, baby.
Ready?
3, 2, 1.
EAGLES Eagles! Thanks for calling in, Zom. We appreciate it as always. You know, he brought up an interesting fact, and never before have I seen the Philadelphia Eagles carry so many running backs on their roster. But also, too, I mean, Gail, during our YouTube series that we do during the offseason when we're not here at New Media Studios, we've said this time and time again, we don't think that there's a 1,000-yard back on this roster. And when they signed LeGarrette Blount, like, you don't sign your feature back that late in the season. That was a reactionary thing after the draft, right?
I mean, definitely. I feel like if you look at last season's running game, you look at where we had our downfalls, like short yardage. I mean, now I feel like they're just piecing together one running back with 4 dudes, and each guy has a different flavor, and you use those guys according to who you're playing that week. I think you look at the Patriots. They had Blount, they had James White, they had Deion Lewis. They have guys that are interchangeable. So I feel like this is what we're going to see from a running back crew. It could be Smallwood. I think Smallwood is the guy that has the most overall skill set. That's great for a West Coast. He's got good hands, decent runner. We just got to figure out who Smallwood is.
Yeah, and this could be really good or really bad. We could have like the fucking Voltron of running backs, where they all assemble for the common good to fight evil.
Right.
Or this could be a complete disaster where all of a sudden there's such a plethora of running backs, they don't know exactly who to fill in there. Evan, give me your take on the running back situation here.
Yeah, I think if you think that LeGarrette Blount is going to do anything close to what, or even half of what he did last season, getting 18 touchdowns, you're fooling yourself. And running back by committee really scares the hell out of me, because that means that there's not a standout star. And if there's not a standout star, we don't have a solid running game. And if we don't have a solid running game, we're not going to be able to open up the pass game. So it's a domino effect that is scaring me. But I hope that Wendell surprises us this year. The one thing that a lot of people are going with is thinking that Donnell Pumphrey, because of his size and stature, is going to be the next Darren Sproles, if Sproles chooses to take him under his wing. When I think there's more to Sproles than that, man. Sproles has got shoulders like basketballs, and he's got legs like fucking tree trunks. So like that dude can get through a line. Donnell Pumphrey gets blown over by the wind. So
yeah, let me tell you something. If you were to take the names off the back of the jersey and the numbers off the back of the jerseys, and the draft wasn't a factor, Sheldon Gibson, Donnell Pumphrey, and that juiced up white kid that they had from Nebraska,
Jerry,
none of them would be on this roster right now. The only reason that Sheldon Gibson and freaking Donnell Pumphrey made this team is because if you already cut the one, Jerry, right, the white kid, if you cut Jerry and signed him to your practice squad, to then cut 2 additional draft picks is almost a fireable offense. I caught a lot of heat on Twitter for kind of judging. Like, look, these picks right here look like trash right now. And although people say, hey, settle down, they nailed the first 2. But how many times, Gail, you and I have watched football long enough to know when a guy can play and know when a guy can't? And we were waiting there with that. I don't want to be negative and harp on Pumphrey, but you look at the guy and none of those flash and dash, none of those speed things, none of those elements were there, right, Daryl?
Not at all. Like, it's scary that we actually kept 5 running backs. Like, when do you ever think, even when the Andy Reid era, did we keep 5 running backs? But I look at it optimistically as well. We have to have some type of running game. You don't want Carson in his second year throwing 40 times to 50 times a game at all. We have to establish some type of run game, period. But you think about it optimistically like I do, that's your next pick in the draft next year. You got to go running back. I know a lot of Eagles fans wanted a Dalvin Cook or Christian McCaffrey, but we had to address the pass rush. I just think that LeGarrette Blount will suffice in short yardage. Sproles hasn't even played yet this preseason, so we got him fresh. And we don't, like you guys said, we don't know what Smallwood's going to do. We have to figure it out.
Right.
So
I mean, get back to Donald Pumphrey. I think he's a hybrid type. You look at the running backs on this roster. He offers that jet sweep slot-esque or running back who puts a linebacker on an island and makes him look bad.
Right.
That's where he's winning. You're not looking to give Pumphrey the ball on third and short, or that they're going to utilize him in the pass game. That's where I want to see where he develops. I feel like I think he was there's an article out there today talking about how he wants to get back to the college pump, because obviously I didn't see the college pump in preseason. It looked like he was injured. He had the hammy and the ankle.
Right.
I don't think he recovered from that, but I saw he was getting murdered. out there. So I think he's got to learn how to develop his game for the next level. So
But look at this though. I think we're in better shape than the Redskins. The Redskins depth at running back, they've been a carousel as well. You got rid of Alfred Morris a couple of years back. Went to Matt Jones. Matt Jones is gone now. Then you got the kid Fat Rob.
they got R. Kelly now.
Right. And
Not
then you
the,
got then you drafted
King or
Samaj Ward-Perini or whatever his name is.
Samaj Pure.
Yeah, so with that being said, I just think we're in better shape as far as running back because they're going to be looking as well in the draft in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
It has all the recipe. Holding on to this many running backs might seem like a good thing, but it has all the recipe of like, and I don't want to say it, but almost a disaster. Because when you think about running back by committee, you know, you think about the days of like Deuce, Westbrook, Buckhalter, right? Those are 3 running backs. When you think about running back at committee, usually people are talking about 2 running backs, you know, sharing the load. It's hard to get a running back in kind of a rhythm if you're rotating, and I realize that not all those guys are going to dress. Realistically, they're going to have like 3 or 4 running backs that dress during game day. But it's hard enough to get a guy in rhythm when he's not getting enough touches. A lot of this is going to fall on Doug Peterson, A, with the play calling, B, with you got to stick with it. You got to stick with the run game. If Blunt comes in and Blunt's not working or he's situational and the situation just didn't come up, Darren Sproles isn't the type of guy that's going to get, you know, a bulk of the carries. He's a situational guy as well. Wendell Smallwood, okay, Donald Price, like now all of a sudden you're almost looking at too many running backs with too many skill sets. You start to get frustrated, and next thing you know, Carson Wentz is chucking at 60 games.
Yeah, and then the predictability of Doug P's play calling. Will that offset with, you know, how he's going to, when we have 4 different guys coming in, is this play calling going to take it to the next level when you know it's going to be predictable with some certain guys in there?
And we're going to get back to the phones right now. We appreciate you hanging tight. Rob is on with 4th and John, buddy. How you doing? The Eagles season is now upon us. We are just a few days away, 5 days away from a big divisional matchup against the Redskins. How you feeling, bud?
Yo, what's up, guys?
What's up, man?
What's up, brother?
Hey, currently how I'm feeling, I'm feeling good going into the year, basically. I think this month much better than they were last year. I think when has been collecting, has been number 1 and 2 that he didn't have last year. I think our defense is a ton more better than it was last season. We got guys that actually fit the team. We drafted Barnes, we signed Chris Long. We got a 2-4-3 run stopping, and even the secondary got better. So I think we will just strike out at 22 drafted over the quarterback. Russell Douglas, the third-round pick, that was impressive. I didn't really like into the whole thing with David Matthews, but I think this is a really game team. Obviously, running back is that's probably the only concern right now in my opinion. I think that'll be a top rank.
Are you going to the rumor had it you were going to the game, are you?
Yes, I am.
Oh, God.
Good man. Hopefully we see you down there. Give me a prediction for the game now that we're all going to be in attendance.
We'll be getting 4 rows in the field too.
Nice, man. Give me a prediction.
I think like if the Redskins all talk about how they have our number, basically most stuff I heard. I think that the Redskins seem to have such high straight times that are very well in 6 straight times. So that 2014 game at the link, that was obviously close to this one. That could have very well been 6. This is not the same Redskins team, the same Eagles team, sorry. This is not the same Eagles team as those last Eagles years. I think the Eagles win. I don't really like to pick the ball out, but I think the Eagles do win. I think I'm going to say 31-23.
I love it, Rob. We will see you down there. We appreciate you calling in. We've got Mike. Help me out here. M
from Hazelton.
from Hazelton up next on 4th and John. Dude, I gotta go get my friggin'
I don't know. That's hazelnut.
I don't know what the
old
happened
man.
from like the end of the season last year to now, but dude, I can't see shit anymore. I cannot see it. Yeah, well, you know, a little bit, but that's not. That's for my glaucoma. That's for my glaucoma. I got a prescription for that stuff. Em, how you doing, buddy?
How you doing,
I'm doing all right, man. Exciting time. Eagles season is here against the Redskins. We.
Thanks, God. Speak for him. Oh, my God.
I know it takes forever to get here, right? You excited?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I got my jersey all set. I got my bed dressed in Eagle stuff. Crazy.
What jersey you rocking though?
I didn't have many. I have one for each color. Like I got whatever color they're wearing is the color I'm wearing. I have a black McCoy jersey, which I need to replace after McCoy. Ew. I have a white snap and the green one. I don't know where I got this. It's not the awesome one.
Oh.
God. Oh, my God.
Exactly.
Hey, listen. Give me a prediction on the game. What do you think is going to happen when the Eagles roll down to DC to open up the season?
Oh God, look, I'm gonna try to make it sound a little bit more analytic, even though this is gonna be a nice win for the Eagles. I don't think it's gonna be as big as most people say. I'm gonna say 27-17.
27-17. I love it. 27-17 sounds like a great, start to the season. It sounds like a statement game. Next up, we got our girl, Football Kelly, one of the writers of 4th and John. Kelly, thanks so much for giving us a call, baby. I appreciate it.
Kelly Carpenter in the house. We were talking earlier today about the 53-man roster, and you wrote up a nice little gem of article on 4thandjohn.com talking about the Eagles' approach to the roster, the 53-man roster. I thought was pretty interesting. Do you feel like the Eagles felt comfortable and they know who they are now? How are you feeling about the 53-man roster?